This episode of Your Morning Drive is brought to you by Fireworks Co-working. They are a creative co-working space located in Marietta, Georgia, focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. If you want to try out this beautiful space, this podcast room is just one of the many available rooms and spaces available for you and your company to work at. If you want to try them, you can. Use code DRIVE at checkout and you'll get a free day pass. So, if you're working from home, if you're working at an office that you don't have to go to, if you're tired of working at your kitchen table where you have to listen to your kids or your spouse or the lawn people in the outside cutting the grass and it's too loud for your Zoom meetings. Well, you don't have to worry about that. You can try out Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia. It's right down the street from Kennestone Hospital. They are the presenting sponsor of Your Morning Drive. They offer me a beautiful space for me to be able to record my podcast with all of the creators, business owners, and other individuals that I get the pleasure of interviewing, and they can be your home too. So either go to the space, tour the place with the staff, tell them Logan Lewis from Your Morning Drive sent you, or if you're booking online, again, use code DRIVE, DRIVE, for a free day pass to try the space. Your Morning Drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase. Strongside Fitness is another partner of our podcast today. They've been voted the #1 gym in Cherokee County for 4 consecutive years. Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? Are you ready to take control, lose some weight, and feel like you did 20 years ago? They've got you. At Strongside, their group workout classes, led by certified trainers, create fun and safe workout environments that has helped thousands lose thousands. Strongside puts the community at the center of what they do. Everyone is welcome, everyone is treated equally, and everyone is safe to be there. If you want to get a free 7-day pass, visit their website, www.thestrongside.com. That's www.the-strongside.com, and start your fitness journey today. Strongside, we make people better. Morning. Welcome back to another episode of Your Morning Drive. I am Logan Lewis, the host with the most. I am your host today. We are live from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. Before we get into our interview today, if you enjoy what I'm doing here, do me a favor and send this link to one friend, one family member, one coworker, your fitness trainer, your boss, your ex-girlfriend. Send it to somebody in your life that needs this show to start their day. If you want to send them a link, you can do so by sending them a link to Spotify or Apple to listen, or if they want to watch in full on YouTube, they can do that as well. If you want to do more than just sending them a link, if you want to support more, you can follow on the socials at Your Morning Drive on everything, Facebook and Instagram mostly, and give us a look on there. And we'd appreciate it. Give us a follow, give us a couple thumbs up, some likes, all of the things. We would appreciate it tremendously. A lot of people ask me how they can support more than just following and listening every week. And to those people, I appreciate it. Some people like to donate to causes that they are passionate about. So I've heard about a really cool service called Buy Me a Coffee. Pretty sure My guest's husband told me about this service because we all know that he's a software slut. And you can donate to my cause if you wish to do so. It's a cool thing that just lets you donate, $5, $3, $1. You can set it up as a recurring thing, or if you're just trying to drop in and say you like what I'm doing, you can do that as well. It's just at Your Morning Drive on Buy Me a Coffee as well. So shout out there. My guest today, however, is a dedicated functional health coach with a personal journey overcoming eating disorders and mood disorders, managing autoimmune and inflammatory diseases. With 5 years of experience in the health and fitness industry, she's empowered hundreds of clients to achieve their healthiest and longest life. She believes in addressing the root causes of chronic illness and promotes healing through natural means. Please welcome my new friend, Bri Goodfellow.
Hello.
Hello.
That was a really swaggy intro.
Was it?
You're like Logan Lewis. I really appreciate that.
It flows really nice.
I love it.
Lots of Chat GPT helping me figure that out.
I feel like I'm married to Chat GPT.
You are married to Chat GPT.
I know.
You're married to a walking AI dude.
Yeah, I mean, his profile picture is not truly him.
It isn't?
It's
an AI picture.
It's an AI picture.
That was the picture I used to promote his episode. I just realized, no wonder it looks so damn good.
Yeah, Zach Goodfellow.
I was like, who took that picture?
I know.
It's not him.
It's not him.
But it looks like.
It's a really well done picture.
It kind of looks like him, but now that I'm picturing it, it doesn't look like him.
It's him, but it's not. Yeah.
Because in that picture, he's wearing a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I know.
You just blew my mind. I've never thought about this.
I think I blew his cover too. I don't know if everyone knows that, but now everyone's going to look at it and be like, man,
it's lying. A solid picture, though.
I know.
I mean, I thought it was real.
The way I think it's done is there's like you take like 5 pictures of yourself and you give it to the generator and it makes like the best version. And then you tell it, hey, like whiten my teeth or like give me less of a forehead or whatever, and it'll do it.
Incredible.
I know.
But you are married to a walking AI man. This is Bri, the wife of a previous episode that we had a few months back, Zach Goodfellow. We sat here and talked about marketing and AI and entrepreneurship and everything in between. And him and I have gotten closer over those months and might start doing some business together and such. And of course, I knew that you do your own stuff. You have your own path, your own journey that you've been on yourself. You and I share, we do marketing things. You do marketing services for some folks as well.
Yep.
So, hi.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people that does a little bit of everything. I feel like you are too, though.
Yeah, for sure. I was talking about it with my last guest that a lot of people nowadays like to try to put everybody in a box.
Yeah.
And you can't put me in a box. You could put me in a bin that maybe multiple boxes can fit into, but not a box that is labeled one thing.
Couldn't agree with you more.
I'm the moving box that is just titled MISC. Period.
Okay.
Miscellaneous.
Right. That's what I'll put you in my phone next.
Miscellaneous guy.
I love it.
Ooh, that's got some legs to it.
It's got something.
Miscellaneous.
Yeah, marinate on that one. With all of the things that you do, though, do you have like a main thing? Like, this is my main thing.
This is probably the main thing.
Yeah.
Thanks for asking, by the way. I also told my last guest that nobody ever asks me stuff on these. So it's really engaging when someone's just like, what about you? And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Well, because I've done this before,
True.
I'm 100% trying to turn it on you so you don't always only ask me.
I appreciate that tremendous. Yeah, this is probably the main thing. The marketing. I've always said over the years that the marketing stuff that I do for people here and there, it pays for the fun. So it pays for me to be able to have fun and do this stuff.
Yeah.
But now that I'm starting to get to the point where people are wanting to advertise and sponsor and stuff, I can start making some moolah from this too.
Cool.
So it's fun. But yeah, I would say if you were to ask 50 of the people in my circle what my main shtick is, they would probably all say the podcast for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what got you into podcasting?
I always tell the story like, I used to think podcasts were for like old people, like our grandparents.
Really?
Like NPR, like stuff like that on the radio.
Okay.
I used to be like, a podcast? Like my grandpa probably listens to podcasts.
Okay.
And I got turned on to a couple of one of my college friends was like, you should listen to these guys on their podcast. They just shoot the shit. They have a ton of fun. It's before, I think, I don't know if Joe Rogan was doing his thing at that point or not, but it was very early on in the podcast days. And he was just listen to these guys. They're a ton of fun. And so I listened to them and I just got hooked. I went back and listened to all of their years worth of episodes. I was just like, these guys get to just shoot the shit with each other and have a great, and this was they worked at like a Barstool Sports kind of company where it was just like content marketing and stuff. So it was like, these guys just got to have fun every day for an hour, and that was their job. And I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
They just get in and they get to be social with each other. And I love being social. I like to vibe with people. So it's like, man, these guys get to do that for either for fun or for a job. Sign me up. So I'm pretty sure the day after I had that thought, I went to Best Buy, bought the mic, and went from there.
Wow.
Just started recording. Didn't know what I was doing, but I just started.
So when you start looking for guests, like, what's your criteria?
I don't really have one.
Oh, okay.
The whole shtick is that, and I've been kind of running with this slogan for the past couple of weeks. And I actually want to get some shirts made and some hats and stuff, but it's just that everybody's got a story.
Oh, I love it.
Everybody's got a story.
I love it so much. That's
Everybody's got a story, no matter who it is, no matter if it's, the folks getting out from church across the street. One of them's got something. Well, they all do. They all have a story.
They all do.
And that whole mindset of just, some people just don't get a chance to tell it.
Nope.
And I like giving people that chance. Yeah, I mean, most of the people I talk to are entrepreneurs or creators or professionals in some setting. But then again, some people, like some of my most fun episodes are people that I'll just invite like a cousin in. And like on a level you think like, okay, I know my cousin, right? Like he's my cousin. But like, do I really know him though? And I'll get him in here and we'll talk and I'll learn something. I've known him for my whole life or his whole life because I'm older than him. But I learned things I had no idea. I was like, oh my God, I never knew that about you until you do something like this.
Logan, that's such a gift you can give to people to make someone feel seen or give them a platform to talk about who they are and what they do.
Wow, this episode is going to be just like Zach's, and that he's just going to, you're going to fucking compliment me the whole time and make me feel really good about myself. I appreciate it. It's really fun. I mean, I just love, at the end of the day, I just love connecting with people. And I told my last guest this. How many times am I going to say that? I told my last guest this, but I said, I just like to see the people in my world win. And me and Zach really bonded on that of like there's enough food for all of us to eat. Like I want to, if I might be having a slow month, but if I see that you guys are popping off, like that's fucking awesome. Like I want to see everybody in the world win. I want us to all take over the world together. And it's just really cool to be able to build such a vast, I've been talking about, you were going to come to this event that I was going to throw for this network of people. And I decided to call it off, but I'm going to build that network up a little bit more and then redo this and do it right. But I was like, I know so many cool people just from doing this podcast.
Love that.
I mean, I just want to throw them all in a room together and have them just talk.
So
like that whole event I wasn't even going to be involved. I was just going to sit in the corner and watch.
I love doing that.
And just be like, okay, you and you talk and let's see what happens. Like, let's see what beautiful business or beautiful idea sparks out of you two talking. Because
there's not enough opportunities for connection. I really believe that we live in a connection deprived world now.
Which is, sorry to cut you off, which is so funny because in some ways I absolutely agree with you, but then I think of like all these networking groups and stuff, but I bonded with a Business Radio X host, Stone Payton. And he said, networking events are fun and all, but like, you don't get that personal connection with somebody. It's like, oh, my name is Logan and I do podcasts and marketing. Yay. And, my name is Bri. I do, I'm a health coach and I do marketing. Yay. And I do, it's so hard to form like a personal bond with someone like that. And that's what I like doing. Because I sit across from these people and the whole time I'm like, this is so awesome. But at the same time, I'm thinking like, how can me and this person work together? Like, what can I do for this person? What can they do for me? Like, what can we do here?
And even those words you just used, this idea of what I can do for you versus what asking something like from you. There's a really big difference. Like I want something for you, not from you always too. And that's helped me kind of reshape the way I want to do things just in my life. Because I think so often we're taught, you go to a networking event and they're like, okay, I'm going to formulate the best title I can about myself. Or when it's my turn to announce myself, they're going to be like, ooh, like, and I can get something from them, right?
Yeah.
I can get something from that audience, which is nothing wrong with that. But like when you start to shift it for what can I do for them? Everything changes. Everything.
And I was telling someone the other day, I was like, once you start, at least this has worked for me. For years, I was doing the podcast for me. And then like once I rebranded to Your Morning Drive and have the whole everyone has a story thing, once I started doing that, it's like, boom, stuff started happening. And it's like you start meeting the right people, and then they put you in contact with this person, and then you're sponsored by this person. And then it's like the income starts flowing. And not that it's all about income, but I mean, the income starts happening when people, I think, realize that you're here to help other people and not just yourself.
Yeah, when it's not about you. It's not about you.
No, this isn't about me.
No,
it's about you.
Well, I'd like to say the opposite. But yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. When you do whatever you do for a living and you realize like this is not about me, it's about them. Yeah. Everything opens up in the world and opportunities just come flowing in because, again, you're giving them, it's a gift. You get to hear someone's story.
I was messaging back and forth with someone while you were on your way over here, and they were like, what should we talk about? And I was like, I always tell people, this is my podcast, but it is your show. Like, this is your place. Like, I am not in control. I send everybody that questionnaire that now I have integrated with Calendly. Thanks, Zach.
I love Calendly so much.
I do so much. Dude, the other day when I think me and him both, like, I know we've both known about it for some time, but he was like, oh my God, Calendly. And I was like, oh my God. And then we both signed up for it like on the same day. And we're both like sending emojis back and forth to each other. It's like, hey, it's such a bromance. Book on
my Calendly.
Oh, that's exactly right. He was like, check out what I did on my Calendly. And I was like, oh God. He is hilarious. You picked a good one there.
I know. He's the best.
How'd you guys meet?
Oh,
maybe
he
cheesy. Told me.
It's cheesy. We've known each other since we were like 12 years old.
Okay.
Middle school.
Okay.
And we didn't start dating until senior year of high school because he kept asking me out all those years. And I kept saying no.
Damn.
And my mother-in-law loves telling that story to everybody. Told it at her wedding. Like she told Zach, this girl's not into you. Move on. Forget her. Yeah. Like she literally said, like, forget that bitch. Move on. and said that at her wedding. But he said, no, mom. Like she's gonna be mine. I'm telling you. He asked me to prom, and
the rest is history.
Yeah. So we're going on 11 years now.
That's incredible. Yeah. Good for you guys.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And married for how long?
4 years.
Wow.
As of 2 weeks ago.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
A week. 2 weeks. September 5th.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we got married during COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the day our phone call was with each other. Yes. I got on Facebook later that day and I was like, what the hell? They took on their anniversary?
Dude, yeah, we had like 4 sales calls that day and we were just like going. But honestly, that was the best anniversary for us because we were like, how many people can we help today? And we just went in. I love working with my husband. It's so fun.
Is it?
Yeah. A lot of people, we're really blessed by that we actually enjoy working together. We started working together when we both graduated from college. And we started a marketing company then. And then we did that for a couple years. And then I took more of a shift into the health coaching world because I just felt more called into there. But I wanted to do both. And I kind of did that for another company for a little while. And then we kind of circled back. And it's just fun. Some people, like, we literally could spend all day together, and it sounds really cheesy, but like, it's fine. Like, because he's my best friend. So it's just kind of like, it's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, and you both probably bring something to the table that makes up for the other person's, like 100%. Where he's bad at something, you might be good at that thing and vice versa. Yeah. So you complement each other well then.
We definitely play to each other's strengths. That's for sure. We have that conversation a lot. Like when it comes to just talking about marketing things, like, I just sit back and let him go. Yeah. I mean, you've heard him. He just goes. I feel like I'm more of when he starts going like off too much and I'm like, okay, let's circle back.
Yeah. Let's reel it in.
Yeah. Because I can see people like start to get like, oh man, this is a lot. And I'm like, okay, we're going to take a big deep breath, everybody. But honestly, I do that when it comes to health and nutrition things. I can kind of go off my rocker, but there's no one there to kind of bring me back. So I have to control myself.
So when you guys were in college, so what, did you go to school for marketing?
No.
Is that what you guys both went for?
No. So Zach went to KSU and graduated in sales. I went to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design.
Okay.
Yeah. And I graduated with my photography degree. And then I did graphic design, and that's how I got into web design.
Okay.
Yeah, I was one of those people who wanted to do it all. So.
Well, I mean, when you're wearing that marketing hat, I don't want to say it's easy to want to jump into it, but like if someone's just like, hey, can you make my logo for me? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, could you make business cards for me? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, can you do the website? And you're like, I can figure it out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. So I think it's easy. And I think a lot of people at least I always try to put myself in the buyer's or the customer's shoe or the client's shoe and think like, I would rather go to one place and buy everything rather than go, if I'm buying a new PC setup, I don't want to go to Target to get that part, Best Buy to get that part, Walmart to get that part. I want to go to one place and have it all. So 100%. If I have a problem or an issue or want to do more business, I can just continue going back to that one entity.
100%.
And so it's easy, I think, for a lot of marketers, even if they're not, I don't want to say qualified, but even if they don't have the experience or the training to do websites or video production or all the things in between, it's so easy to be like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll figure it out, but I'll do it.
100%.
Which sometimes is great.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, God, why did I agree to this?
Why did I do this? Yeah.
Why am I such a yes man? Why can't I just say no?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of, you can take that idea and approach to any industry. I see that so often when I work with my clients too, like in the health coaching world, because they all have like 3 different doctors, like different specialists. And they're like, this doctor said to do this, and this doctor said not to do that. And then they're all conflicting. They're like, what do I do? Which is, when you're talking about your health, like that's a whole other overwhelm. So it's like, that's kind of part of my job, is to take all of the ideas, not even ideas, just like the prescriptions and like routes, and kind of making them seamless with one another. If that makes sense. It's hard. Yeah, it's tough. So
yeah. So with the health and wellness stuff, so you and Zach, you're doing this marketing venture, and then you break off and you start doing your own fitness stuff. You said you felt called kinda to you were feeling like that push to go towards the health and wellness. Like what was that push? Like what in your head, was it like a client that you guys worked with that you're like, man, this health, like what were they, a health and wellness company themselves that you guys were working with? Like what specifically was like the point where you're like, I want to do more fitness and health and wellness and stuff?
The only way I can kind of put it is, so it really turned during COVID, because all we knew during COVID, when everything first shut down, was hide the elderly and the diabetic people. Okay. Well, Zach's a type 1 diabetic.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah. And so I was like, close up the doors, like, and trying to like shield him.
Nails on the board up the windows.
Well, the way they made it sound, it was like a green gas out in the world. And so like, I'm literally clutching my purse through Kroger, like nobody touch me, because that's all we knew in the beginning when it was all happening. And so I was terrified for my husband at the time. And when we were just kind of like holed up there, I just saw how things affected him like so rapidly. So I never really actually understood his disease. And honestly, I don't think he understood it either. Like until I told him one day, like, this is an autoimmune condition. He was like, no shit. Like he was like, really? And I was like, 100%. This at the time we were like 24, I think. And I was like, you had no idea. And he's had it like his whole life. So, I was really interested in what was just happening with him. But through the years, I mean, starting as a teenager, I developed so many eating disorders, and it got really bad when I went to college. And I think I had to lean my way out of it. I didn't really have guidance or direction out of those disorders. I had to kind of find my own answers. And so I think at that time during COVID, when everyone's physical and mental and spiritual health was just kind of like shook, everyone got rocked in some way. And I feel like you either like went down a really bad hole, like dark hole, or you're like, you know what, I'm not going to let it happen to me. And I think that's really where Zach and I kind of banded together. So we're not going to let this happen to us. And we were doing the marketing stuff, and I just felt like, I was like, what is my purpose here? I think everyone asks that, right? Like, what's my purpose?
Sure.
And I didn't know what that was yet. I don't think Zach knew what his was yet. And we were just searching for that. And I think like when you're just sitting with your thoughts for a year in COVID, like that's where it kind of started to change. And really, I give credit back to him because he got me a book one day, and it was like some book about.
Oh, Zach got you a book? No way.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. And he got me some book. It was about like design or something, like graphic design. I went, oh, cool. And like put it on the table, right? I was like, thanks so much. I'll read it. And then like the next day he was at like Sprouts and he got me a magazine. It was like a superfood magazine, A to Z. And he brought that home for me. And I read it cover to cover, like same day.
Wow.
And the next day he was like, how's that book I got you? And I was like, oh, I haven't started yet. You know, we've been busy. I have that website we're working on. He's like, how was the superfood magazine? And I was like, it was so good. Let me tell you about all these superfoods. And he was like, why aren't you doing this? He was like, you are far more passionate about this, whatever this is, than you are that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can, what am I going to do with it? Like, I just like food. I just like nutrition. And yeah, he kind of pushed me. I just started searching and I just found a school, a nutrition school. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of dove in. I don't know.
Yeah. Very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
When you build websites, you use Beaver Builder?
No.
Because that's what Zach loves to talk about is Beaver Builder.
I don't know. I use Squarespace.
Okay.
No, I love using Squarespace because it's easy. He loves everything. He finds a new software every week. I can't keep up.
Yeah, it has to be exhausting. But I love it and appreciate it because he usually sends them my way and he's like, check this out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, that's awesome.
Because he knows with me, I'm going to be like, dude, I know. Like, I love you, but I'm sticking with what I know right now. Yeah. And I'm going to make the most of my tools.
I made myself a website probably years ago, and it was on Squarespace because Squarespace is like, I think I'd be willing to go as far as like all the web companies out there, web building platforms out there. Squarespace probably advertises the most. Mm-hmm. You see commercials or ads, or Squarespace advertises on a lot of podcasts and radio shows and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it with Squarespace. And at the time, I think Squarespace, I don't want to say they were just coming up, but their tools were very limited. It was just very, very basic. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't do the it wasn't working. So I was like, fuck this. So I stopped using it. Mm-hmm. And then more recently, I started working with a travel agency. And she was like, I want a website. So I was like, oh, I'll be glad to build that for you. And I was like, who's your domain purchased with? And she said Squarespace. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to transfer that to my web or my Bluehost server so that I can build it on WordPress. Yeah. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the challenge and I'm going to build this website on Squarespace. Yeah. And I love Squarespace now. Yeah, it is so good.
It's come a long way.
All the integrations they have too. Yes. I mean, it's so smooth. Yeah. And I love like the whole, like, I don't know how to describe it in speaking terms, but like the fact that like, you can expand a section by rows or columns and stuff like, and the fact that the grid and you can drag, like before things had to be either like aligned to the left, the right, or the center. That's all you got. Yeah. But now you can drag like an image and just have it be right here instead of like,
you can layer things.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah. You can make it look like a magazine if you want
to. For sure. And I was wickedly impressed when I was doing this last week. I was like, fuck, this is awesome.
It's so great.
It's come such a long way.
Yeah, they've done a lot to customize so much about it, but also at the same time where it's not overly complicated. Like it used to take some things forever. I used to be like, okay, let me go do this special code to do this special thing. It's not worth it. Like if you want to move fast too, it's just not worth it.
No.
Yeah.
But so now I am very much so open to, because before I'd be like, I'm building it with WordPress, with Elementor, and I'm doing that only.
I hate WordPress.
Really? And that's so funny. Everybody is so passionate about one builder or some people are like, oh yeah, Wix. I don't like Wix. I'm not a Wix guy.
Zach started to get into Wix and I was like, homie, you can do it by yourself.
Wix. Wix is so dumb. Anybody that's like, yeah, my website's with Wix. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to change that.
Okay, not anymore.
Not anymore. Say goodbye.
Yes.
But yeah, I've always used Elementor in WordPress. That's the plugin that I use.
I mean, to each his own.
Yeah. But now I'm going to try Beaver Builder because Zach told me I should sign up for it. So I bought it.
Dude.
And I was going to build this travel agency's website with Beaver Builder. But then I was like, oh, because Beaver Builder is still a WordPress plugin. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the challenge. I'm going to do Squarespace.
Do it, man.
And I'm vibing with it. I
It's
really
so
like
good.
it. It's so good.
There's one part, like there is kind of an element to Squarespace where you try really hard to make it not look like Squarespace. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you're on a Squarespace site.
Oh, for sure.
And so you like try really hard to make it not look like
You
one.
can look at either the header or the footer of a Squarespace website and you're like, that was made with Squarespace.
Or it was the favicon in the browser.
Yes, it's the cube.
Yes. And I'm like, y'all, and when I go on websites that don't change that, I'm like, it's the smallest detail. Just get rid of it.
All you have to do is take your logo, shrink it to about this big.
Yeah.
200 pixels.
Yeah.
And throw it up there. It's so easy.
And like, you're giving everything away.
I don't know how many times I've reached out to companies, even big companies that have that.
Dude.
And I'm like, where's your marketing person?
No, obviously not here, and not very good at details.
No. I will have the biggest like code error in the middle of a website, but I'll make sure that smallest detail is perfect.
100%.
Golly. Yeah. But I love building websites. It's so fun for me.
Why?
I don't know. It's almost like, this is going to sound so dumb. Maybe you'll vibe with it.
Go with it.
I almost think of it as like a canvas. And it's like you're literally painting this person's picture onto a canvas electronically.
That's so pure.
I don't know why. Like, it's just so fun and I'm such a branding nerd. Yeah. So I love like making all the fonts match and the colors and like, oh, when you hover over this, it's going to turn blue and green. And it's like, I love that shit.
And how hard is it to do it for yourself?
Oh, dude, it took forever. I know we bonded on that the other day.
So hard.
I did websites for people for years before I even made my own. Yeah. And even my own, I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah, don't look at it.
I'm going to scrap it and redo it.
I'm not going to send you there. Don't look at it.
No. People are like, where's your website? I'm like, go to my Instagram.
100%.
Yeah.
It's so hard to try and just encapsulate yourself. Like, okay, like what part do I, and I think it just comes down to your brand. If you don't know your brand well enough, but it's like when you are a part of it and attached to it, it's just, I have like commitment issues to my own brand. I'm like, well, what if I evolve? And what if I want to do something else? And
dude,
but you would never say that to someone else. You'd be like, just do your brand now. And if it evolves, we'll change it later.
Dude, my biggest critic. So this podcast has gone through like 6 different rebrands.
Okay.
And some of my biggest critics, i.e. my parents, have been like, no one can find you because nobody knows what to search. And I'm like, that's deep. Yeah. But I don't like that old brand anymore.
Yeah.
Zach had an expression for it when he was here. He was like, yeah, this is my new 6-month project.
Dude,
and he's like,
there's a new project every morning. Every morning.
He wakes up and he's like, let's build a mansion together.
Anything.
And you're like, where did this come from? He's like, let's start a smoothie company.
But he'll sell you on it though.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant.
Like
he's an ultimate sales guy.
We have one client in Northern Roots Farm. They are so dope. They're up in Jasper.
I'm gonna do a show with them.
Yes.
I want to record. I told her, I talked to Karen, right? I was like, what if I came to the farm and the backdrop was the farm and like a sunset?
So cool.
When it gets a little cooler out, maybe like October, November.
Love it.
That'd be so fire.
They have all the space
for sure.
It's amazing. And so we go up there every like 30 days to kind of like consult them on what they're doing. And her husband, Kevin, looked at Zach. He's like, you know what, Zach? I'm a builder. I'm gonna go outside and build a wall and run through it because you make me feel like I can do anything.
Dude, the dude I called Catherine after I did the podcast with him. I was like, that dude makes me want to like start a war with another country. Like fucking full speed ahead. Like
that's him, man.
Like stampede.
Oh, God, I love him. He's so good. I know.
What a bromance from as soon as I sat down with him, I was like, oh, this dude's gonna be a homie.
Oh, I love him.
This dude's gonna be a homie.
Yeah.
So fitness. Health and wellness.
Yeah.
So we described in that bio that you work and manage like autoimmune, auto-inflammatory stuff. What is, to somebody who, let's say this person doesn't exactly 100% know what all that means, and that person is me.
Okay.
What does all that mean? Autoimmune.
Yeah.
You hear these words on commercials and talk shows and stuff, and you're like, autoimmune disease, but like, I don't really know what that means. Yeah. What does that mean?
Okay, so an autoimmune condition is when there's a part of your body that basically attacks itself.
Okay.
So for example, like I mentioned, his autoimmune condition is type 1 diabetes. What that means is that his the cells in his pancreas attack themselves. His body sees his pancreas, the cells in his pancreas, as an intruder, just like it would fight off
like a sickness or a cold.
Yeah. So it's constantly fighting. That's why his pancreas does not work. So that's why he has an insulin pump. So he literally can't produce his own insulin. So that's one. But then there's other ones. So like a common one that a lot of people have is psoriasis.
Yeah.
So I have that like on the back of my scalp. Some people have it. I have clients where it's on their hands, all over their arms, or wherever. And that is, you can't cure psoriasis. It's just something that you can manage, but it's the body attacking itself. And so there's a whole variety of different ones we can go on for forever, but we won't. But the only thing that can basically be done for autoimmune conditions is manage those diseases. And that's kind of where the world's going. But what's happened now, they used to be really rare. Not everyone knew what they were, but now I believe it's 80 million people in the United States have at least one autoimmune condition.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. And in millions. And of that number, I believe it's 60%, if not 70%, of those people are women. So they happen more often in women than men. And once you have one, you're more susceptible to getting another one.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What about inflammatory? What is that?
So the rate of inflammation is when your body is kind of basically on fire. Everyone thinks like inflamed, like flame. It really is like your body's on fire. So that'll show up as things like skin conditions, like rashes. If you have chronic gut issues, like you always have gut issues and things. When you're in pain or things are swollen or red, that's inflammation.
Okay.
And so another common one, I mean, we talk about type 2 diabetes or heart disease, those types of chronic diseases that we hear of all the time. That is chronic inflammation. Those things happen because of inflammation.
So then is your ideal client somebody who is suffering from some of these conditions? Is it, now, because I know health and wellness is almost as broad of a term as like marketing. It's like when you're like, yeah, I do marketing. You're like, what kind?
Yeah.
So like, oh, I do health and fitness or health and wellness. Like, well, what kind?
Yeah.
Like, do you work with people who'd like to lose weight and stuff too? Like, are you like a fitness trainer as well? Or do you really hone in on these chronic illnesses and figure out how to make their lives better with them? Or do you kind of do all encompassing? What's your shtick?
That's a great question. Yeah, it's not like it's a requirement to work with me that you have to have one of these diseases. Right. But I think the main thing with all of the clients that I have now, they just want something more for their health than what they can get in the doctor's office. Because everyone sees their doctor like once a year, they get some blood work done and like, am I dying or not? No? Right. Cool. And then that's kind of all they get. But most people know when something's off. They're like, I know something's not right because my gut always hurts. Like my stomach always hurts. I always have headaches. I never have energy. I don't sleep well. Like something is off and they know it. And that's typically where they start to find me because they're not getting answers in the doctor's office. Doctors don't really have those answers because they're not really trained to do that. Like you're not dying and they're going to make sure you don't die. And they're going to keep you managed within a range in your blood work. And they'll prescribe you a medicine if that'll help. And that is what they're trained to do. But when it comes to living your life optimized and really well, that is where I kind of come into play, where we talk about, okay, what foods work for you? A big one I ask all the time is like your stress level, 1 to 10. Where do you sit? 1, cool as a cucumber. 10, you're going to rip my throat out for asking. And if you are in a state of stress that's 5 or above all the time, you are heading towards disease. And I can confidently say that. I've seen that so often because the body is not meant to live in the lifestyle that we all currently live in, where it's go, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle 24/7. I mean, even look at the way we eat food now. It's whatever we can get as fast as possible. And food is not meant to be as fast as possible. It's meant to be prepared and intentional. And I think a lot of us don't live our lives with intention anymore. Even the way that we view sleep. Some people are like, God, if I could just have 30 hours in a day and I never had to sleep. But it's like, sleep is not a coincidence. It's not like, oh, we just kind of have to do this thing at night. It 100% has purpose. We regenerate through sleep. Like a lot of people don't know what organs are actually regenerating themselves because of the damage you did to them during the day. Only when you sleep. And it can be really overwhelming. Like you just took a big deep breath. It's like, wow, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. So I take all of that and I go, all right, more often than not, first goals are like, I need you to drink X amount of water per day. I need you to just get outside and get some movement. And then we talk about like a stress technique and just a simple base. And we kind of go from there. Like everyone's on their own journey. Some people are like, oh, I just do macros and calories. Like that's all I want to talk about. That's fine. It's a tool. But I'm a big fan of recognizing all your tools that you have available because they're all used for different things. Like calories and macros are not going to always serve you in managing, for example, like your psoriasis or your arthritis, because you don't know what's inflaming you. That's just it's too broad of a tool. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of helping people find the right health tools for themselves. Because for one person, intermittent fasting could be the thing. It could be a great tool for them and help them lose the weight they want to lose. And then help them not, because if you're overweight and for X amount of time, that's chronic inflammation. You will stay inflamed. So that's that I do help people with that, but it's normally just like one piece of the puzzle, So with all that being said, I know it was a big dump, but I talk a lot about food, I talk a lot about stress, I talk about movement a lot too. I don't write fitness plans for people anymore like I used to, but I definitely give them guidance on where they can find that and how they can do that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good work. I mean, I really like that you put that, you go to the doctor and they are there to give you they can do a set thing for you, but when it requires deeper knowledge, they're always like, oh, we'll go call a specialist.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then the specialist is going to give you conflicting information of what your doctor that you've known for 20 years has told you. And it's like, well, do I believe the guy I've known for 20 years or do I believe the specialist who specializes in the thing?
Yeah.
And so I understand, I myself, I have this thing that I need to address that I just keep putting off because it doesn't cause me pain. It's just an uncomfort that I have. And I don't know what it is, but I've had it for like 3 years and it just chills with me at all times. But it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't probably any pain. And I've gone to the doctor and I've been like, doctor, what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
What is with this thing?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we don't see anything. You shouldn't be alarmed. But I'm like, but I feel something different these 3 years than I felt before.
Yeah.
So why the sudden change? Why doesn't it hurt? Why, why? I'm a big why guy. Like, why this? Why that?
Yeah.
And they never have an answer. Yeah. And it's like, okay. And then I'm like, all right, well, the doctor says it's fine. So I guess it's fine.
They're not trained in prevention.
Yeah.
And they're not, they can't answer a lot of the questions. I feel like that's my role. So my official role is a functional nutrition counselor. And because people have those questions all the time. So it's like there's the patient and then there's the doctor and there's gap in between. I feel like that's where I come in is fill the gap. It's like, okay, they don't see anything critically wrong, but these numbers are kind of high on your blood work. We need to work on bringing them down so it doesn't become a problem. Like, because to your point, you're like, it doesn't bother me, but still there. Could it be a problem? Like, why is this happening too? And when you ask the why, there's 3 major roots to it. And it can be genetics is a thing. It really only makes up about 10% of the outcomes, but that's there. Your gut and then stress. And those 3 things together can create a world of a storm of what you have to deal with in your own body. So yeah. And do you want to share what it is that you're dealing
Sure.
with?
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing terrifying, but so, and I've done all the, I've looked into well, I'll explain it first. So best I can describe it, and the people listening are going to have a fun time with it because I'm going to move away from the mic for a second, or maybe I'll bring it with me. Ooh. So right here in just this area right here, there's just a slight, it feels like someone's just applying pressure, like pushing. Doesn't hurt. It just feels like someone's pushing down on my side. I was like, is it appendicitis? Do I have something wrong with my, I don't know, whatever other thing is there.
Sure.
Whatever the other thing is. Why can't I not think of it? But either way, I'm like, what's the thing that starts with a T?
An organ that starts with a T?
Yeah. I have no idea where I'm going with it. Appendicitis is one of them, but there's another one. I don't know. I'll think of it later. But I'm like, is it this? Is it that? And the doctor's like, no. My doctor was like, oh, maybe you just pulled something. I was like, for 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I pulled something 3 years ago and it still bugs me. I mean, I can't even sleep on that side anymore.
Wow.
because it's just uncomfortable. It doesn't
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
But when I sleep on this side and like fold my body,
yeah.
it goes away. So like even like us sitting right here, like I'm like kind of leaned to the left a little bit.
Yeah.
It's because I'm squeezing that side
Wow.
so that it doesn't
Cause you discomfort?
hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt, just discomfort.
You're just always aware
And I'm
of
like,
it.
do we need, yeah, oh yeah, I'm always aware. It's almost like someone's just like taking their finger and just like pushing it into my side at all times.
Wow.
I have no idea what it is. No fucking idea.
Could it be like a hernia?
Could be, but I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah.
And there's a piece of me, this is going to sound horrible because it is my health, but it's like, I don't want to go to the doctor tomorrow and find out there's something fucking horrible wrong with me. And the next 6 months to like, for the rest of my life possibly is interrupted. Which I feel like is a lot of people's excuse on why they don't go to the doctor or why they don't go to the dentist. Well, I don't want to go to the dentist because I don't want them to tell me I have an $800 cavity bill.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, well, you should go.
You're just prolonging until you have to deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is going to sound really bad. So I have a trip this coming week in September. I have a trip in November, the first week in November. And after that trip in November, I will then figure it out.
Okay.
I'm committed to figuring it out.
After your November trip?
After my November trip.
Okay, I'll make sure you deal with that.
I will.
Okay.
And because I'm tired of fucking dealing with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt. It's just like whenever I have to sit up, it's like on the plane, I'm like, because I can't like lean on myself because there's another person right here.
Wow.
So it's like, I just have to figure it out.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I feel like that would be a question or an order of just an ultrasound.
Well, I got an ultrasound and they didn't see anything.
They saw nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Huh.
And so, this whole time, like, and, my grandma is now at this point where my grandmother, she's been complaining for the last 5 years that her stomach hurts. And lo and behold, this whole time she didn't go to the doctor to figure it out and boom, cancer. And it's like in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if something's fucking horribly wrong with me and I'm not treating it?
Yeah.
Because I haven't gone and asked more questions.
Yeah. Do you know what questions to ask?
No.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of people don't know what questions to ask. And also too, like when you get into the hot seat with the doctor and you're like, okay, now's the time.
Yeah.
Your mind goes blank.
Yeah.
And you're like, everything looks good. Okay.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just like, okay, whatever you say. And it's just like the doctor becomes the authority and you're the patient.
Yeah.
And it's not a partnership about your health
Correct.
anymore. And that's what drives me so crazy. And I'm so passionate about people being advocates for themselves because they don't know what questions to ask. Or I've had people ask questions and the doctor reprimands them. Like, why would you who told you about that?
That's trash. That doctor should be fired.
I agree with you. Yeah. Where it's like, I don't know why you would ask that. I mean, I'll run the test, but I don't think it's necessary. And then lo and behold, there's something going on. Yeah. And that is sadly, I think, a lot of people's experience, which is why they won't go back to the doctor. Because like, I get nowhere. Why am I going to bother paying for this? So I think it's a matter of having someone in your corner to know and how to show up and be like, I'm not leaving until I address this question. Yeah. Of whatever's like what you're laying awake at night with and that you're worried about, like that needs to be addressed with a professional. Yeah. And so I'm sorry it's taken this long.
No, it's okay. I mean, I put it off for years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I have gone in these 3 years or so and just been like, hey, this is still a problem. What the fuck is happening? And they're like, I don't know. And that's the thing is the doctor's going to hear like, oh, it doesn't cause you pain. Okay.
Yeah. And nothing's showing up on blood work. So
nothing.
So you're not dying. So you're good. Like I can send you on your way.
Yeah. Nothing's showing up on my blood work that's given them any inclination that something's wrong with me. But for all I know, there's something growing there or, I fucking don't know.
Is there anything that irritates it? Like specifically, like anything that triggers it that you know of?
I mean, you would think after a couple of years I would know, but I don't know. I don't study it that well enough.
Oh, okay.
Usually when I'm sitting, I mean, like if I'm sitting straight up, like right now, it's there. If I lean forward, it's more prevalent. But it doesn't hurt. It's just like but I mean, I've had it for years, so now I just cope with it. Yeah. But I was like, I don't want to not be able to sleep on that side anymore.
Yeah. I have questions, but I'm not gonna put you on blast.
I don't give a shit. Ask them. I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, because
if they're deeply, deeply personal, then I mean, maybe save them. But I mean, I don't care. Ask away.
No, I mean, where I would just go with that is asking you like what your gut health is like. And when I say that, like, do you ever have other stomach pains? Do you have trouble digesting other types of food that you notice?
Not that I know. I mean, not really.
Mm-mm.
Not that I know of. No.
See, this is where I ask other questions about bowel movements and poop questions.
That's cool.
No, we don't have to go there. But I have a lot of like conversations around bowel movements. That's your daily report card.
Yeah, that's true.
And so if that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
What goes in's got to come out, and if it's not coming out, that's a problem. Like,
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Trust me, there's not a problem with that.
okay. So all of you, just so you know,
I've had 2 coffees today. Not going to be an issue this afternoon. Let me tell you that. Thank you, by the way, for that coffee. That was nice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not going to be an issue this afternoon.
Okay, no worries.
So.
That's fine. But anyway, well, I'm sorry you're going through that. And
That's all right.
But yeah, I think I can definitely at least keep you accountable to pressing for questions and for people to actually take a look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that's like, okay, I need to stop putting it off.
Yeah, and I mean, and I can totally empathize with that. I did that for a really long time. So, like, I have endometriosis, which is an inflammatory disease.
Okay.
And I put it off for a really long time. To get a diagnosis, they have to do surgery, like, into your abdomen to find it. And I did not want to do that. And also, this is like, it's so only women.
I was going to say, what is this?
Yeah. So endometriosis is basically when cells that are supposed to grow in a woman's uterus grow outside of her uterus too. And it can get really sticky, and like it'll stick your organs together. It'll cause a lot of issues. They basically create their own hormones too. So a lot of women's hormones will be totally off. They have horrible periods. They will have a lot of pain and flare-ups doing exercise, having sex, any one of those number of things. And they even have started to find endometriosis in women's chest cavities and even in their brain too. It's really strange, and they don't know why it happens, but it caused me so much pain for a really long time. But I was always kind of, my doctor was like, it's probably IBS. Like, go see a gastroenterologist and figure it out. And I was like, it's not. Like, you know, when you like someone tells you something, you're like, I know it's not that.
Yeah.
And but I was like, fine, I'll go. I went to the specialist and I answered all her questions. She was like, I don't know what's wrong with you. I was like, me either. So this was before I got the diagnosis. She was like, well, I don't really have anything for you, so you might want to just go back to your other doctor. I was like, well, she wouldn't listen to me. So I was like on a hunt for a different specialist, a different gynecologist to actually listen to me. And finally one did. And she was like, oh, no, we got to go in there and take a look. So I got the surgery done. Lo and behold, it was everywhere. It's like, you know, like remember the Spider-Man movie where he was like, it was like the black webby stuff?
Yeah.
You know, that's basically what it is.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like, but in your body, and it's horrible. It caused me so much pain for a really long time. And so they went and took it all out. But what they didn't tell me is that it can grow back. And so I actually just had the surgery done a month ago, redone, but I didn't want to redo it. I put it off for a long time again. I was like, I know it's back. I have the same pains again. And it took me out of fitness for quite a while. Like I ran a trail marathon in April in the North Georgia mountains. And after that, my body was so shot and my endometriosis was so inflamed, I couldn't do any fitness for like 4 or 5 months. And that's like a whole part of my life.
Yeah.
Like, so I put it off where I was like, I don't want to get this surgery done. And I was like, I'm going to have to go do the whole thing or whatever. But I finally got the surgery done and now I have my life back. So it's worth pressing and just dealing with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm going to end this year figuring out what the problem is and either solving it before January 1 or knowing what I'm going to do next year to solve it.
Yeah. Cause there is nothing worth your health.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing. Because the one thing you want when you're sick is to feel healthy. You know what I mean?
True. As someone who had a stomach bug this week.
Oh.
Don't worry, I'm fine.
Yeah, I believe you.
It was like an 8-hour stomach bug.
Yeah, dude.
Caught it from a baby. You know who you are. Whose baby it was. You know who you are.
No.
It's the second time one of your kids has gotten me sick.
Man.
Definitely not a family member. Just kidding. I forgive you. It's not your
He
kid's
loves
fault.
you so much.
It's not your kid's fault. It is. It's your fault.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Going in.
They know who they are. I told them. I was like, this is the second time I've gotten sick from one of your kids. But the whole time you're sick, you're just like, God, I can't wait to feel good again.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, although I'm built different, so I get sick like once a year.
Nice.
But it's really bad when it happens.
Yeah.
Like I don't get strep throat really ever. I don't throw up often.
Yeah.
But once a year I get sick.
Mm.
And I'm down bad for like a week.
Yeah.
Some people get sick. They're like, oh, I'll go to work tomorrow or 2 days later. Nah, I'm out for a week.
There are some people who are just always sick. And
Catherine.
Who's Catherine?
My wife.
Oh, no.
I mean, not really sick, but she's just like, oh, my head hurts. My nose is stuffed. My throat hurts.
Yeah.
All the fucking time. And
Yeah.
she'll tell you this.
Yeah.
She'll say it's annoying. But
I tell
all
her
the time.
We got to work on her gut health. That's
hey,
where
she was like, ask her if she wants to work with me.
I do. Oh my God. I loved it. Like, this is where I pop off because 90% of your immune system's in your gut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when people are like, how's your gut health? I'm like, I don't even know what that means. I don't.
There is a whole, let me tell you this. You are more microbe than human. There is more bacteria on and in your body than what actually like makes you a human.
Wow, that's terrifying
Isn't
to think
it?
about.
I know, it's so scary. You have bacteria all over your skin and your lungs. So a lot of people who even have things like asthma, we go right to your gut because the bacteria that's living in your gut runs the show. It literally runs you.
Wow.
You even have quite a bit of neurons that you think would just be in your brain that are also in your gut. That's why your gut's called your second brain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an inhaler in that bag right there. I carry with me at all times. I'd never not have it on me.
Wow. Yeah. Because that can affect the bacteria that's in your lungs that could be causing all of that, which is just fascinating. I can go on about gut health. There's a whole world. Have you ever heard of the microbiome?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a killer. It's so great. You can change it. You can change your microbiome with just 3 days of eating specific foods or a different diet.
Really?
In just 3 days. Now a lot of people have guts that are, you ever heard of leaky gut?
Yeah, but I don't know what it means.
So basically the way your gut is made up, so you have your stomach and then you have your small intestine and you have your large intestine.
Yep.
So with your intestines, you have a wall that's supposed to be like built where there's nothing getting into it. Like when you look at like a brick house and all the bricks have like the cement, right? Well, leaky gut is when over time that the wall starts to erode a little bit and you start to get these gaps. So literal food that has not been processed yet gets into your bloodstream. And then your body sees that as invaders and just wants to attack because they're like, we don't know what this is yet because we didn't call this in here because it got into the bloodstream way earlier than it was supposed to. And I think I read a study the other day where I think 50% of Americans have it and don't know it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But the good thing is if you work on healing your gut, you can heal so many of those things that you're dealing with. If it's chronic headaches, if it's asthma, if it's skin rashes, oh my word. Zach's skin rashes that we have dealt with.
Really?
From his gut, man, that's a whole other, that goes into the world of gluten. That's a whole other podcast I could talk about forever on. But it's a lot, but there's hope. That's the cool thing. Like if you have a gut that is not working for you and you're dealing with chronic illness, you can absolutely take steps forward and feel better. Rather than just manage, like you can optimize. I'm not going to say you'll no longer have your autoimmune condition or chronic condition, but you can change your quality of life. No question.
Yeah. 2024/2025 was supposed to be the year that we get our shit together. But, it's almost like, in a weird way, making your own website. It's so easy to put yourself off.
Yes, it is.
So
yes, it is. I feel that deeply.
Going to be prioritizing that stuff, especially as we get into the season of wanting to expand the family.
Yeah.
All that other shit needs to be in check.
Another fun fact while we're on that topic, then you have the ability to change the genes that your child will inherit from you by up to 3 months. So 3 months before conception, like you can change the genes that they're going to inherit. So the genes that you have can be turned on and off. So let's say diabetes runs in your family, for example. And a lot of people be like, oh, it runs in my family, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. Your genes load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. So if you start living a life where you're quote unquote getting your shit together, and if that's eating well, if that's hydrating, if it's, exercise, you can change which genes will be turned on when your child's born.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing. So if you're planning for expanding a family, I always say go ahead and get blood work done now and know what needs to be fixed and worked on so that it's not even an issue for your child. It's so cool.
So many good tidbits here.
Oh, I'm full of them. I love talking about this stuff. I can talk about it forever.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for the tips.
Absolutely. Full of them. Anytime. That's where I have to rein it in when I work with clients, because I work one-on-one with people, very like intimate settings. We talk about a lot of stuff, but you get me going on one topic, I could really pop off really quick.
When you meet with people, are you doing it like over the phone, Zoom?
I do both.
Do you ever meet people in person and sit with them at like a coffee shop or something like that?
I actually meet most of my clients, at least for the first session, so we can see if we'll work well together, because they're really interviewing me and I'm interviewing them. Like, it's going to be a good partnership.
Right.
We meet at a place called Eden in Woodstock.
Eden.
Have you ever heard of Eden?
I've heard the name, but I don't know where it is.
Okay. It's a smoothie shop and it's off of Main Street in Woodstock. And now they also have a location in Buckhead off of the Beltline.
Really?
Yeah, they're awesome people, Chris and Stephanie Beck, and it's just them. They just decided they believe in the power of nutrition and food, and they made the smoothie shop. They have like smoothie bowls and they have like avocado toast and stuff like that. Yeah, but I meet clients in person only on Wednesdays, and I'm there every Wednesday just sitting in their shop like all day meeting people, and it's great.
That's awesome. And it drives business to them too.
Totally. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I believe in what they do. So big shout out to Eden. Yeah.
Wow. Shouts to Eden.
They're great.
How fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I love working with people. I prefer in person, but oftentimes, like when I start working with people, like we'll do like 30-minute check-ins and it'll be on the phone. Sometimes like they're at their kids' football games, like I need a second, or like it'll be in between work meetings. So we sneak it in where we can, which I can appreciate, because I feel like it's really hard for all of us to sneak in that time for ourselves for those health things. Now
knowing you and Zach, how do you guys, so you both are full-time entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
You don't work, neither one of you work for someone else.
No.
How do you guys stay focused?
That's a great question.
How do you stay grounded in especially with, and I don't mean this as an insult, but with a guy like Zach, who is very much so like me, who catches a whiff of something else and it's like, oh my God, I want to get home and just fucking pour 8 hours into that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you guys stay focused?
That's a really great question. We haven't always. That was the hardest part. And I think that is why there were so many elements in our journey thus far where we'd be working for ourselves and be like, you know what? No, like we got to go get another job elsewhere and work for somebody else. Because we couldn't stay focused, and you'd lose your momentum, or all the self-doubt would creep in. Honestly, it was really our path into establishing a relationship with God because of where we found our purpose. And we know, and talking to Zach, we just love helping people. And that has been like our one like North Star. What can we do for people? And I think like when you know your purpose through and through, like, so for example, like I love doing the marketing thing, but my purpose is through the health and nutrition thing. Like I have known that for years now, because that is the one thing that has always moved me forward. Even through my bouts of like severe depression, that was the one thing I always showed up for other people. So I think through entrepreneurship, if you can just be grounded in knowing why you do what you do, it's just your why, knowing your why. And I think he and I have started to nail that down in the last year, because we went too many years not knowing it and going in so many different directions and feeling like a freaking just a paper bag in the wind, like with Katy Perry, you know what I mean? Like that's just how you felt. You could go any which way so quickly, but that was because we were putting our faith and I guess I would just say that faith in other things and other people, where that's not solid ground. That was never solid ground. Until we found solid ground. Now it's not that we know everything. We just feel more confident with each step that we take moving forward. We can't see it, but we just keep taking the steps. It's helpful when your partner is with that in you, because entrepreneurship is really scary, but so rewarding. maybe it's because we're a little bit of control freaks too. Like you are in control of your destiny and journey in that way. You know, unfortunately, I have clients right now, like quite a few of them have been let go, like laid off in the last month. There's a lot going on in our country right now. Layoffs are crazy at the moment. And that is not something Zach and I are willing to give any power to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I think we take that approach with everything. Like we want to be able to stand on our own 2 feet with our financial situation, with our health. Cause like we, again, like back to the autoimmune thing, we both have autoimmune conditions. So it's like, if we don't take control of our health, obviously no one else is going to take control of it. Like we have to know what we're doing and moving forward. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So out of all the things that you guys have going on, what's next?
Oh, just we're both extremely passionate about coaching and consulting people because our main goal is to help other people shine their light. There are so many great people in this world, and what breaks our heart, and I can say like we for both of us, because like when people don't feel that they have something to share or that they can't want more for themselves and take action on it, that is such a disservice to the world because there are so many great, imagine if you never did podcasting, like you have such a gift for that. And you've given so many people the platform to tell their story. Imagine all the people who have never told their story before and you give that platform. But like if you told yourself, oh no, me do a podcast? Not me. I can't do that. One person might have told you like, Logan, like that's a pipe dream, but you're doing it. Right. And you've given so many opportunities for people to tell their story. And then who knows, like with your listeners, that could have touched someone, right? And encourage them to change their life. So Zach and I are trying to do that in the community for other people. And it could be in anything. It doesn't have to be just podcasting. It doesn't have to be something dramatic, like, you know, with how people change their health and want to pursue that. You could be really passionate about building cabinets. But like maybe because you really care about how people love the home that they're in and they want to build a home with their family. And like that's just an element that makes their family appreciate the home that they're in. Whatever it is. We just want to give people the platform to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Bri, you listened to my episode with Zach, yeah?
Parts of it.
So that's good.
I feel badly.
No. I mean, I don't mind. That wasn't a test. My own wife doesn't listen to this. I mean, she does. She'll say the same thing, parts of it. Yeah. There comes a point in every episode that I do where I ask each guest a collection of questions that are kind of very first date like kind of questions. They're not super stressful questions at all. My watch thinks I'm doing a workout right now. Do you want to end your workout? Yeah, let's end. For 5 hours. Oh, no, 5 minutes. Thank God. I've been doing an outdoor walk for 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay.
And I've burned 19 calories.
That's impressive.
Very, because I've been just sitting.
Did that coffee just like spike your heart rate?
I don't know, but
maybe it was
I guess
from you standing and pressing on your discomfort.
Possibly.
Thing.
Maybe. Either way, they're just fun questions to ask people.
Okay.
This portion of the podcast is also brought to us by StageDive. StageDive is a music and podcast streaming platform that aims to put creators first, meaning your subscription will directly benefit the creators that you love. StageDive does not play ads among their creators' content. Instead, they provide a subscription-based model where listeners can discover new music, comedy, podcasts, everything in between for a fixed monthly fee. When creators attract a listener's attention, they earn a portion of that listener's monthly subscription. With code YMD25, you'll get 25% off your first month's subscription. Now, the subscription is only $3.99 a month. So that means with my code, you can get your first month of listening for less than half of a cup of coffee from Starbucks. That means you can support your favorite indie artists and indie creators for less than $3 for your first month. www.stagedive.com. What's your favorite movie?
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck.
Oh, it's oldie. It's an old movie with Cher, and it was Nicolas Cage's first movie, I believe.
Really?
Like, he was a young buck. Oh yeah, it's old school. It's about these Italians living in Brooklyn, and because my whole family's from New York, and it's just such a microcosm to that culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's oldie.
Fun. What was your first job ever?
First job ever. Oh gosh. Not working for my family. I worked at Title Boxing Club. I worked in a boxing club. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the front desk, and I would sometimes teach classes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rank these 3 in the order of your favorite to least favorite.
Okay.
Queso, guac, and salsa.
Oh, that is such a good question.
Trying to remember what Zach said too. I can't. Memory's trash.
Oh, that's such a good question. I think I'm going to go.
And of course, you can just picture that all 3 of these are in their peak form.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to say that I wouldn't react to it because I can't do any dairy at all. But I'm going to, in this world, I can do all the dairy I want.
Of course. Absolutely.
Okay. So then I think I'm going to go guac, queso, salsa.
Okay.
No, I'm going to put queso first because I miss it so much.
Yeah. Damn. I would too.
Yeah.
I would too. If you were on death row, as morbid as that is, what would your last meal on earth be?
Oh, man. My last meal on earth. Okay, this is gonna sound really dumb.
Oh.
So every morning for breakfast, I actually have a salad.
Okay.
And people think I'm nuts for this, but we go in on this breakfast salad. Like, we add all these beautiful elements to it. It's just a bunch of vegetables and arugula, and we'll like make fresh protein that morning. And I think because I love the process of it so much and making it with Zach, like, it would just be one of my breakfast salads.
Love that.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
You are organizing a music festival for yourself. Who are the 3 headliners that you choose?
Oh no, that's a terrible question for me. With how into music my husband is, and I'm sure
it was a horrible question for him too.
Oh, it was? Okay.
And Nick. No one can answer this
then
one.
I feel better.
Yes.
I feel better.
Everyone hates this question.
Okay, I get to pick 3?
3 people. Or artists or bands or whatever.
Oh man. Mine are gonna be so random.
That's okay.
And quite a roller coaster. Okay. I have my 2. I have to think of my 3rd one real quick. All right, you ready for this roller coaster?
Hit me.
Okay. It would be Pink.
Bet.
Eminem.
Bet.
Nora Jones.
Okay. Those they oddly go together though.
Thank you.
I mean, Eminem and Pink have done music together.
I did not know that.
They have a couple songs together.
Okay.
All right, but
you don't think Eminem and Nora Jones did something
I mean, they would exist together in the same festival.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's some crossover there.
Cool.
There could be. I mean, every genre works with each other nowadays. So, I mean, you can get anything.
That's true. I think because Pink just puts on such a good show. Like, the whole part of it is great. Nothing gets me more hype than Eminem. Nothing. And then Nora Jones speaks to my soul, man. So I think that's, I think I'll end with Nora to calm down before I leave.
Yeah,
know?
she's the closer.
Yeah.
Who's the opener? Is it Pink?
I think it's Pink.
Okay.
I think she's going to get you like really excited about the grand show. No. I think it'll be Eminem who will get you really excited and just like, yeah. And then Pink has the whole theatrical show.
Yeah.
She's in the air, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Nora's next.
Okay. I like that. That's a good answer. What does a self-care day look like for you?
I laugh because people normally think I'm like really extreme. A self-care day for me, like I told you, I'm opening up with a breakfast salad and then a 3-mile walk with my husband and my psycho dog, Bucci. He's named after kombucha. And then I would go into, I'd probably spend the entire day outside and listen to either one of my doctor podcasts or your podcast, obviously, or do my schoolwork. So I'm back in school again, and just eat really delicious food. There'd be like some dry brushing involved to help cleanse my liver. Yeah, end the day with some magnesium tea and reading my book, doing my daily devotion, and getting to bed by 8 o'clock.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course, you threw that in there. What does success look like to you?
I'm living it right now. Honestly. And I could not have always said that, but I am so grateful. I've seen a lot of people, really sick people. And, specifically, I'm the nutritionist for a nonprofit called Ole's Angels, and they work with patients that are leaving the Shepherd Center or CHOA after suffering from traumatic brain injuries or spinal cord injuries.
Okay.
And those people have really inspired me to understand that each day is a gift. And I made a lot of leaps in my life to get to where I am right now that were really scary, but they've all been for the better, even though they were horrifying and I never thought it could come to fruition. But I get to work with some amazing people. I get to work with my husband. I lack for nothing right now just because it's not because I have everything. I don't have like all the luxuries most people would think of as like luxury. Like I don't have a jet or like live in a big fancy home, but I've really learned to be grateful for every single day, especially after coming from a place where I didn't want to go on with life for a long time. There were lots of very dark times in my life with the different eating disorders and going into suicidal times in my life. And so each day I'm like, I already have it all, so right now looks like success.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What is a hill that you are willing to die on?
Oh, great question. This can go so many different ways.
It could be funny. It could be serious, whatever you want to do.
What are some answers that you've gotten to this question?
The guest that I had earlier this morning, she said mental health matters. So that's a serious one. Some people will go on and say, fuck ranch dressing or ranch goes with everything. Okay. Or pineapple belongs on pizza, which I disagree with. That's a hill I'm willing to die on. Okay. No pineapple on pizza.
Okay. All right.
Don't do it.
Okay. I don't. So.
Okay. Yeah, don't.
Okay.
It's a threat.
Help.
So
great question.
One that I reframe this question so many times in my head and I debate whether to ask it one way or the other way, or like, what's a hot take of yours? Like my hot take is that I'll always take a burger over a steak.
Okay.
Always.
Respect to that. I
just prefer I just like to hold food. Like I just like,
yeah. See, I hate holding food. I'm the complete opposite.
Are you going to cut up a piece of pizza and eat it with a fork?
No.
Okay. Because there's psychos out there that do that. And to those people,
no.
Probably communism.
No, homie.
I don't know. That's their answer.
I come from a very Italian family. They would not be okay with me doing that.
Yeah, that's controversial.
Yeah, no.
Pizza sounds so good. I haven't had pizza in a long time.
That was almost my death row meal.
It might
when
be
you
mine.
asked me.
It might be
that
mine.
was almost it. Especially since I really can't do dairy anymore, man. It's just I miss it.
You know what? I've had freezer pizza lately, and freezer pizza's fine, but like I want like some good, like thick ass.
Yeah.
God, that sounds so fucking
just New York
good.
Style.
Oh God,
so good.
What are we doing for dinner?
Yeah, exactly. All right. To answer your question, I think there's so many different ways I want to say this. Let me think about how I'm going to say this.
Just throw it out there. Just do it. Don't think. Just go.
No, I can't.
You can't?
No, there's so many.
Hit me.
You can't leave out any part of your health to live this life. And what I mean by that is you need to be aware of your physical health, your mental health, and your spiritual health. If you are ignoring any one of those things, you will never feel whole. And I will always stand on that.
Deep. I like it.
Yeah.
Very good. Couple more. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear? Ooh.
Could be very surface level, or it could be something deeper. Or both. I have both.
What are yours?
The ocean.
You're fearful of the ocean?
Oh God, you won't get me in it. I mean,
really?
I'll go to the beach and get in the water and get like waist deep, but I'm not going any further. People are like, let's keep going. I'm like, nope, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Fair enough.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And then like never like failing or never amounting to anything, people forgetting who I am after I go,
Yeah.
or people saying like, oh, what did he do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that conversation freaks me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two.
Mine aren't far off from that. So, I mean, mine, like, I literally gag when I see cockroaches. Like, so I feel like it's a lot of people, but I'm like, I want to be like physically sick.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, ugh, I can't handle it. I can deal with almost any other bug, but the cockroach thing, man, I cannot handle. And then the other one, I think it's the fear of not fully using the gifts that God has given me to use. I think like everyone's given those gifts and they don't know how to use them, or they just don't use them. I think we're meant to use them and transform them and be like, this is what I did with my gifts. Like, here you go at the end of your life. So that's my fear of not fully using them. That's why I do like everything.
I love that.
I'm like, I got to use every single thing I got.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then lastly, where do you see yourself, your marriage, your businesses in 10 years from now?
That is always the hardest question for me.
Yeah.
I have never been able to think 10 years into the future, ever. Is that an easy question for you?
No, because I don't know.
10 years is a lot.
I don't know. If you ask me, I don't know the answer.
Man, no,
Still
I don't know.
Thriving and surviving.
Yeah. I think 10 years I will be 38. And I'm hoping by then we will have, as much as you can plan these things, right?
Sure.
We'll have our 3 children.
Okay.
We already have all their names picked out.
Yep, of course.
Yeah, you have to.
So do we.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's on lockdown, right? Do you tell people?
Our first one we've been pretty vocal about,
Okay.
which is funny because I'll tell you something afterwards I won't say on here about one of those. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, but I think people will be surprised about like the middle names and like other things. But yeah, we kind of tell some, but we're selective on it. We don't tell the world.
Right.
But we tell some.
Yeah.
Like our close friends.
Yeah.
They know.
I've just seen it go so wrong for so many people. Like they tell like their parents or their best friend, they're like, that's a terrible name. And then it's like ruined. You were like all like excited about it.
Yeah.
So Zach and I agreed not a soul can know until they're born. Cause then like once they're named that, no one's gonna be like, wow, what a name.
Yeah.
We're just committed. So anyway.
Or they're not going to tell you.
No. I'd rather, whatever, keep it.
Yeah.
Keep it in your head. I don't care.
Yeah. Just don't tell me.
No. 10 years. Okay. We're gonna have our 3 kids. I really see myself continuing my health coaching the way I'm doing it, but my dream is to have a community where people can really lean on each other through it. It's really like going to be a collaborative. I work with a lot of other practitioners, so whether it's chiropractors, therapists, all these other alternative ways that people can get healthy. So it's actually having that established like community of practitioners and patients being able to lean on each other, which is what we're trying to create with the nonprofit right now, OA's Angels. Because when you have a traumatic brain injury or a spinal cord injury, it's extremely isolating and then you really have nobody. But rather when you're with other families that can connect, much like cancer patients, when there's other families that can connect with each other, you have a community and that's what helps people drive forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's for me. Zach will probably be on like business number 5 and it'll be thriving.
Still sending everybody softwares that he keeps discovering.
He can't wait.
Yeah, he can't wait. What a golden retriever he is. Now I'll let you look into the microphone, look into the camera, and advertise yourself.
Oh,
plug whatever you want to plug.
Oh, man.
Tell people where to find you. Is your site live as of this moment?
This very moment, right this second?
Yeah,
no, but it's going to be next week.
Okay,
so
cool.
I'm just going to go ahead and
by the time this airs, it'll be up.
Yes.
It'll air in a few weeks. So
you'll
have time.
Okay, thank God.
You'll have
I was like, I've been working towards it. I'm like, I have to launch. It's perfect.
It will be launched. We're going to hold you accountable.
Please.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. We're holding you accountable.
Okay, I look into the camera?
Yeah, or however you want to do it.
No, that's weird. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because it's such a little rectangle. Okay, so you can find me at saltlighthealthcoaching.com. And if you are dealing with an autoimmune condition, chronic illness, if it's chronic pain, if you know something's just not right in your health and you're looking for answers, I'd love to help you because you're not alone in it. And there are definitely ways that you deserve to be prioritized and live the life you've always dreamed. And it often starts with the baseline of the basics in your life. And we can work together to do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I can tell you officially, the website needs to be done by October 4th.
Oh, good. Okay. I will have it done by then.
Okay.
I
Bet.
promise.
Sick. Do you?
Yeah, I promise. It will be. I will be. I promise.
You might have to stay up past 8 o'clock once or twice to get her done, but
Never. Y'all will have to suffer.
thank you so much for being with me.
Yeah,
today.
thank you.
This was so fun. I knew it would be fun. I connected with Zach so easily, and you're just the same. I love talking with you guys and brainstorming with you guys.
Yeah.
And I know that, like a lot of my guests, they evolve to just to be more than just guests. They friends, partners, collaborators, and I know you guys are the same, and you specifically too. So thank you for giving me your time. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for doing what you do.
So busy. So I know that your time is valuable. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Logan.
For sure. For sure.
Y'all keep listening to his podcast. This is a good person. I mean it.
Thanks. So guys, I'll throw the website links in the description so that they're easily accessible if you're interested in learning more about Bri and everything that she does. Like I said at the top, follow along on socials if you want to. If you want to send people the link, you send people the socials, send people whatever they want to do to connect with the podcast and me personally online. So with that, I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Hopefully somebody found some good stuff. There's some good stuff in this episode, some things that some people need to hear. If there's somebody in your life that needs to hear some of this stuff, send it their way because they need it more than anyone. And we'll just see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.